What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about why I think you should avoid buying these Toyota Tacoma headlights. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you have probably seen me complain about these headlights a few times, and I have mentioned in past videos that I wanted to do a full video on these headlights as kind of like a review and honestly just airing out my grievances with these headlights. So that's going to be this video, so make sure to stick around because I'm going to get a little bit rambly here and complain about these headlights for the next few minutes. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep this video pretty short. I don't think I'll have an issue doing that. There's only two main reasons why I did not like these headlights on my truck. However, I wanted to start off with a quick disclaimer about these headlights, just to give this company or companies the benefit of the doubt. I will say I bought these headlights secondhand, so I bought them used from a guy on a Tacoma forum. He sent them to me for a pretty great price that I couldn't pass up. So that's why I ended up with these headlights. And honestly, these headlights aren't all bad. If you go ahead and look at them, obviously they're pretty good looking. However, they simply did not live up to the hype for me. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about a couple reasons why I do not want these headlights on my truck anymore and why I ended up getting some new headlights. That's right, the next video you are going to see on my channel that I will be posting next week is the introduction of my new headlights that I will be installing on the truck very shortly, and I'm super excited about that. So if you haven't already, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button as well as the little notification bell so you're notified when that video comes out. It's going to be a great video and I'm super pumped to get these new headlights on my truck and get these ones off of my truck. So yeah, originally I wanted these headlights just because I really like the look of them, and you know, I thought they would look great on my build, specifically having the MGM Tacoma with some darker headlights. I thought it would look great, and honestly it does. I really like the look of these headlights, which is why it's too bad that I have to get rid of them, and they're not great headlights in my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a look at the website for these. I will say I'm not exactly sure where he got them, but I'm pretty confident that they are the Spyder Auto headlights. However, he may have gotten them from TacomaBeast because I know they sell these headlights just with, I guess, their name on it. Alright, so as you can see here, this is the Spyder Auto website. These are the headlights. So yeah, these don't really give you much information here as far as specs. As you can see, this is a signature series, so it comes with the halogen low beam and high beam, which is essentially just using your own truck's stock headlights in these, which is nice, but we'll talk a little bit why it's maybe not so nice in a minute. And one thing to point out specifically on this website, it says that adding HID or LED bulbs will actually void your warranty. So you're kind of stuck using the stock halogen bulbs for these, and we'll talk a little bit more, like I said, about that. Alright, so if we go ahead and scroll down here and look at some of the other pictures, we'll talk about the first thing that I do not like about these headlights, and it kind of has to do with the design itself. So of course the front of the headlights looks perfectly fine, they look great, honestly. These are good looking headlights in my opinion, and I had absolutely no issues with the design as far as like fitment or anything like that. However, the first issue that I have with these headlights comes from the back of the headlights. So as you can see here, these headlights essentially have two little rubber caps covering where you plug in the light bulbs, and they have this little like extension cord essentially for your headlights where your stock harness plugs in here and then it goes through to the actual light bulb. So the issue that I had with these Spyder Auto ones, with the design that they have, like I said, you're still plugging in the headlight into a pretty tight spot with the rubber seal on it. However, there's some way, I don't know exactly where in the headlight, but I believe it's these rubber end caps getting loose. Moisture gets into the headlights really easily, so that completely sucks. So the biggest difference between the Spyder Auto headlights and the stock Tacoma headlights is on the stock Tacoma headlight, the bulb actually plugs directly into the headlight housing. There's no little rubber cap like these guys on the back of the Spyder Auto one. And why this is a better design in my opinion is the stock Tacoma headlight is obviously sealed really well, and the only point of failure is the little rubber O-ring on the bulb itself, which that's not going to let any moisture in. 9 times out of 10 you'll be okay. However, with these headlights, the bulb plugs in the same way, but then you have this little circle housing here for whatever reason with these rubber end caps on it. And somewhere in here, I believe, when the rubber end caps heat up and expand, they let moisture in, and that actually lets moisture into the headlight housing itself. So I'll go ahead and pop up a couple pictures and videos up on the screen showing this. On these headlights, I frequently get moisture inside the headlights, which absolutely sucks. It's a pain to get the moisture out. I either got to leave it outside in the hot sun baking until the moisture comes out, or I got to take a heat gun to it. And every time, to actually get the moisture out quickly enough, I would have to go in and like unplug one of the lights so it, you know, opened up the headlight and gave all of the moisture somewhere to escape from the headlights. So overall, that's my biggest issue with these headlights, is the moisture getting in. Literally just driving around in Florida, it's wet, there's a lot of moisture in the air. If I hit a puddle, somehow the moisture gets in the headlights and it'll stay like that for a long time until I unplug the headlight and take the heat gun to it or something. So that was a big issue for me and continues to be a big issue for me. And that's the number one reason why I would not recommend anyone to buy these headlights. In my opinion, I think the design on these headlights is just inherently bad. I think it allows for too much opportunity for moisture to get into the headlights. And then just to show you another picture of these rubber caps that I'm talking about, as you can see here, these rubber caps are off. This is essentially the same as the back of the stock headlight. I don't know, there's somewhere else inside of this circle here that isn't properly sealed and allows moisture to get in. I'm really not sure why they designed it this way with these little rubber caps and the little harness on the inside. It just doesn't seem like a good design to me. Alright, so now that we have the main complaint out of the way, hopefully I explained that well enough for you guys to understand why I have an issue with these headlights. But my second major issue with these headlights is the light output just is not good. Honestly, I was kind of shocked when I put them on because the light output is borderline worse than stock. And if you have stock headlights on your Tacoma, you know they're not that great, and that's why so many people opt for aftermarket LEDs or HID kits. So these headlights just aren't great overall with the stock halogen bulbs. In addition to that, as the website said, it voids the warranty if you use HIDs or LEDs in these headlights. Number one, I couldn't even fit the HIDs that I had into these headlights because they come with like a pretty big ballast that, again, wouldn't fit in that little cup on the back of it with the rubber cap. It just wasn't working out. I really wanted to try the HIDs in it and see how those perform, but I wasn't able to do it with a clean install, so I ended up not. And honestly, I think if you tried to put HIDs or LEDs in these headlights, it would actually be pretty dangerous driving down the road. You would be completely blinding oncoming traffic, and it just wouldn't be great. Overall, the scatter on the headlight isn't, like I said, very tight and concentrated. It kind of spreads out a little bit. And that's with the halogen bulbs. If you put an LED in this headlight, forget about it. You're going to be blinding everyone. So definitely don't do that if you ended up getting these headlights. Alright guys, so that said, I will say there are a few pros to these headlights. Obviously, like I said, the looks, they look great. I've said that many times in this video already. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm honestly a little salty these headlights didn't work out for me because I think they look great on my truck. They just weren't doing it for me. Another pro is price. Obviously, these are one of the cheaper headlight sets on the market. I think they're around $350 to $400, which is pretty cheap. So that said, I can only really recommend these headlights to a very specific group of people, and that's people that don't go off-road and people that don't live in wet climates. So if you're out in Arizona or the desert or something, these headlights might work fine for you. You might not have any of these issues with the moisture or whatever. However, that still doesn't solve the issue of them not being very bright and not throwing light very well. I think overall you're better up spending the money, you know, the buy once, cry once that everybody says. Just save up a little bit, spend money on some Alpha Rexes or Morimotos, or you could go the route that I went, which we'll talk about next week in next week's video. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about these headlights in the comments below. Let me know what you think about my comments about these headlights as well. Do you think I'm in the right here telling people not to buy these headlights, or do you think I'm in the wrong? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to drop a like on the video. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.